Today is the day. We are ranking every single F1 driver on the F1 grid as of July of 2025. As always, let me clarify this. This video is my personal opinion. If you disagree with me, that's more than fine. Last time I did this about 2 weeks ago, I did one for the teams and somebody still got mad even though I'm saying this. Do not take this personal. It's just my opinion. All right, this is how we're going to do this. As you can see on screen right now, I have all of the drivers with their teams except for the rookies because I think that comparing rookies with veterans is not fair. So we're going to do that in the next video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out. For starters, we have Alex Albon. In my opinion, a good driver who's gotten way better over time, really showing great performances lately at Williams, both him and Carlos Sainz, the two first ones. So in my ranking, here comes the first one. Alex Albon belongs in good. Next up, we have Carlos Sainz, another great driver in my opinion. Kind of sad what happened to him at Ferrari, but overall, he's shown to be a good driver. Yes, not the best, but not a bad driver at all. I think both of the Williams drivers belong in the good category. But even though Carlos Sainz as of lately hasn't outperformed Alex Albon, I'm going to rank them overall in their career. I think Carlos Sainz is slightly a better driver than Alex Albon, but still belong in the same category. Next up, we got Ferrari, my team. So I'm going to be a little biased here. I think Charles Leclerc is a very good driver who unfortunately got to Ferrari at the wrong time. A driver who's always been so faithful to Ferrari, and unfortunately Ferrari hasn't been performing like it did 20 years ago. Overall, given the car and his performance throughout his career, I think he belongs at least in very good. So for now, we're going to put him in very good. Next, we got a controversial one, Lewis Hamilton. I don't know why a lot of people think I don't like Lewis Hamilton, maybe because I joke about him a lot, but I'm joking more about Ferrari and what Ferrari does to champions like him. Overall, and I always say this, Lewis Hamilton has broken like every record in Formula 1. So I don't think he belongs anywhere else but GOATed. Now, this doesn't mean that he's the best in all of Formula 1 history. You're going to see this as we progress through this list that other drivers will also belong up there. I'm just ranking the drivers that we have in 2025. If I look at history, yes, Lewis Hamilton belongs among the GOATs of all time, but you also have to account for Senna, Schumacher, Fangio in the 50s and 60s, Hill. I mean, there's so many that it would be impossible for me to tell you who the best of all time is. I don't believe in that. I can't tell you who the best F1 driver is of all time, but I always make it very clear that my favorite was Michael Schumacher because that was my idol growing up and I saw him break like every record. That doesn't mean that he's better than Senna or worse. That's just who is the most iconic to me. Next up, we got Pierre Gasly, a driver who I like, a driver who hasn't had the luckiest career in Formula 1, but a driver that in my opinion, even though he's a good driver, he is not very consistent. To me, that drops him quite a bit. I'm not going to say he's bad because he's not bad at all, but Gasly, in my opinion, is not very good either. So I'm going to put him in decent because I think he's a good driver, but he is not better than these two over here. I'm talking about Carlos Sainz and Albon. Next up, Ocon, and we have the same deal here. A driver who is a good driver, but not consistent, and the classic joke, 10-second penalty for Ocon. That meme isn't just a meme. Yes, he gets unlucky a lot of times, but there's a reason why people say that. It's because he gets into a lot of accidents and he is not a consistent driver. But he does score a lot of points sometimes. So I'm going to also place him in the decent category. But I still think that Pierre Gasly is slightly better than him. So to the left means better. Next up, we got another controversial one. Fernando Alonso, the most experienced on the F1 grid as of 2025. A guy who's been everywhere, who's won 2 Formula 1 championships, who's won Le Mans, who's competed in rally and so many other things. I know that Alonso has hardcore fans that love him and say he's a GOAT, and he also has people that don't like him. A fun fact is that when I started watching Formula 1 in the early 2000s, he was a rookie, and he came to dethrone Michael Schumacher. And I despised Alonso when I was a kid. Now he's one of my favorite drivers. In my opinion, Fernando Alonso is one of the best drivers of all time, and I'm going to place him in the GOATed category. But even though I think he's so good, I cannot place him ahead of Hamilton. Not because I think he is a worse driver than Hamilton, but because he doesn't have the numbers. Hamilton, like I said before, has simply broken like every record in Formula 1, 7-time champion. I can't put somebody who is a 2-time champion ahead of Hamilton. But I am very curious to know what you think about this. Do you think Hamilton was better than Alonso in his prime, or Alonso was better than Hamilton in his prime? Let me know down below in the comments. Next up, we got Lance Stroll. Oh boy. I don't want to be too rough. I think the only redeeming factor that Lance Stroll really has is that he is the second youngest pole sitter in Formula 1 history. Yes, he got there at the right time with the right car, but I honestly don't think that Lance Stroll belongs anywhere above this line. So I'm going to place Lance Stroll in bad. I don't think he is this emoji right here because he has some redeemable qualities, but I cannot place Lance Stroll anywhere around these guys because I don't think he has that talent. Next up, we got George Russell, a driver I talk about a lot, a driver I like a lot. George Russell has really matured lately, has taken that leadership role at Mercedes like a champion. Like I always tell you, yes, he is not the best driver on the grid, but he is up there and he is the most consistent driver you can find. You can always count on George to get you a P5 or higher. And because of that, I'm going to place him in very good, but not ahead of Charles Leclerc. I think he's a very good driver, also belongs in this rank, but is not better than Charles. Next up, we got Yuki Tsunoda, a driver that has been, in my opinion, very surprising how good he was at Racing Bulls, how he carried that team, but recently he's been struggling on that Red Bull second seat. Here's the issue. Everyone struggles on that seat, but if I compare his performance to somebody like Checo Perez, he is below Checo Perez, and I honestly would have placed Checo in the good category. So I cannot place Yuki there. It honestly sucks because I like him a lot. I like his personality, and he's in such a tough spot being the Red Bull second driver. But I'm going to place him in decent. Yes, ahead of these two, if I can get it. Definitely belongs ahead of Gasly and Ocon, but I don't think he is as good as Albon or Carlos Sainz. If I was making my Formula 1 team and I had to get my second driver, I would definitely pick these two over Yuki. But I would also definitely pick Yuki over these two right here. All right, now we got Max Verstappen, another one that's going to be controversial. I'm going to be very clear. Max Verstappen, especially this year, in my opinion, has proven that he is one of the best Formula 1 drivers of all time. A few years ago, especially Hamilton fans would say that Max was only champion because of the car. I think this year, but especially in 2024 in Brazil, he proved that it's not the car, it's him. Not only that, but just compare any Red Bull second driver to him. That shows you that if you have a decent driver like Yuki Tsunoda ending up like P17 on that Red Bull, and Max is finishing like P3 or P4 on the same car, there's definitely a contrast there, and it's a skill issue. So in my opinion, I no longer have doubts about this. Max is one of the greatest drivers of all time, so he belongs in GOATed. Now, he's still very young, so I cannot put him ahead of Alonso or Hamilton. He still has a lot to show, and we'll see how his career progresses, if he gets better or worse, if he goes to Mercedes or not, like the rumors are saying now. I just read the news that it was official that he's in talks with Mercedes. Keep that in mind because George Russell's contract ends at the end of this year and they haven't renewed. The reason why most likely is that Toto Wolff thinks he can secure Max Verstappen for his team. And if that happens, just wrap it up because Mercedes looks very promising for 2026. And if they have Max and Kimi Antonelli, they have present and future of Formula 1, it is so over. There's going to be an insane Mercedes dominance for like 10 years. So I honestly hope it doesn't happen. I'm sorry if you're a Mercedes fan, but as a fan, I want to see competition. I don't want to see a team just dominate everyone. Next up, we got Nico Hülkenberg, another kind of controversial one. Somebody who a lot of people swear by and say he's like a really good driver and just got very unlucky. But if we look at the numbers alone, statistically, he's a guy who's never been on a pole position. This is a guy who's been in Formula 1 for over a decade. So I can't place somebody like that anywhere above decent. I can't. But at the same time, he also has a lot of valuable experience and he's a really good team player. We saw this especially last year at Haas. So I'm going to place him right here in between Yuki and Gasly. I think he's slightly better than Gasly, or at least if I had to pick a driver for my team, I would pick Nico over Gasly. But I wouldn't pick him over Yuki. That's a no-no to me. All right, next up, we got a duo that's going to create a lot of drama in the comments. First up, we have Oscar Piastri. I've been saying this since last year. Watch out for Oscar Piastri. He is the next champion. And even though the competition between these two is fierce and they're truly both really good drivers at the best team they can be at right now, I still stand by my word that I think Oscar Piastri will be the champion this year. So far in his career, he's killed in every formula he's been in. I'm talking about before Formula 1 and after Formula 1. He was the first driver in a very long time to stand up to corruption and criticism from Alpine I'm talking about. He's a very cold-blooded, strategic driver. I like him a lot. I like his personality. I'm going to place Oscar Piastri in excellent. I think Oscar Piastri is in the right trajectory to end up in GOATed in the future. But that we'll see. I'm really just telling you my opinion right here. He still has so many years to go in Formula 1 and we'll see how his future looks like. So far, I think he's been excellent and he's only improved since he got to Formula 1. All right, now we're left with his teammate and rival. This is my real opinion about Lando Norris. Lando Norris is a very good driver, without a doubt. He's one of the best in qualifying, but sometimes times he is inconsistent and acts irrational. We saw this in Canada when he hit Oscar Piastri. I don't blame him for this because I can definitely relate more to Lando Norris than Oscar Piastri. Oscar Piastri is like extremely cold. Me personally, I'm a much more emotional person like Lando Norris. So in a one-to-one person, I can relate more to him. But as a driver, even though he's already one of the best in Formula 1, he still has to work on some stuff, especially defense. So for our final ranking of the veterans, I'm going to place Lando Norris in very good. And I think that he belongs between Charles Leclerc and George Russell. Keep in mind that Charles Leclerc is a driver who's been getting great results at Ferrari since the beginning at a car that's definitely inferior to the McLaren. Ferrari was many times throughout Leclerc's career the second best car, but never the best car. So he never even got the chance to prove himself like Lando did. And again, I clarified this in the beginning. I am biased. I'm a Ferrari fan. I said this in the beginning. Do not expect something completely neutral from me because it's impossible. I can't detach myself from the team I'm a fan of. But I do honestly believe that Charles Leclerc is slightly better than Lando Norris. Still, before the Norris fans get mad, he's still in the top 6 drivers in all of Formula 1 in my ranking. So clearly, I think he's an awesome driver. And let's recap. These were my rankings for the veteran drivers in 2025. As always, I hope you liked this video. If your favorite driver didn't get the position that you think he deserved, keep in mind that this is just my opinion. But you can always let me know down below your tier list and where you would place these guys. I am very excited to be reading your comments and answering all of them. Thank you so much for watching. You can click right here to subscribe to this channel, and you can click right here to watch the next video that I created just for you. Until next time, bye.